Philippines.
All right, and you're live.
Hi, Winnipeg, and hi, Manitoba. And welcome to the Kuya Noel and Tito Aldo show. This is Kuya Noel, your host. And behind the camera, of course, is our director, Aldous. And tonight, we are so lucky and honored to have the president of my union, because I am a proud local 399 Area 7, the property registry, also known as Terranet, Manitoba. The president of MGEU, Michelle Gawronsky. Good evening, ma'am.
Hello. Thank you so much, and the honor is all mine, Noel.
There you go. So I would like to, because our program is will run to until 30 to 35 minutes only. So I would like to start off asking you. I am a member of MGEU. I know MGEU, but for the sake of all our viewers who doesn't know about MGEU, for the information of them, Michelle, can you tell us briefly what is MGEU and what does it do? Go ahead, ma'am.
It is the Manitoba Government and General Employees Union. We have over 32,000 diverse members out there. We represent civil service workers, so correction officers, sheriffs, social workers out there. At AFM, we have places like Manitoba Museum. We've got, the different areas like that. We've got home care workers. We've got healthcare workers. We represent some nurses in different areas where there's corrections and there are jails, as well as Selkirk. We've got the Manitoba for Disabilities. We represent those folks. We represent folks from MPark. We represent school divisions. We represent a vast majority and a vast number of members out there.
So it's a big union. It's one of the biggest, or the biggest here in Manitoba.
It is the biggest public service union in Manitoba, and we are a proud affiliate of NUCHI, our national union. And there we've got another 9 unions from across Canada that I partner up with, and I'm able to stay in touch with. We meet regularly, we talk, we share stories, we share ideas, and we get some experience that way as well. So it's an awesome family. It's my second family, I'll tell you.
There you go.
Very proud to be the president.
Now, let's talk about protection and welfare of workers as it relates to COVID-19. What are your advocacy and how does the Brian Pallister government respond to this advocacy? Michelle, go ahead.
Well, I will say that I do believe this government could be stepping up a lot harder and a lot quicker, and I've been calling on them for weeks and weeks and weeks now. Everything we have been asking him, I might start to forget a few things, but I'm going to run down as much as I can. We started off with the EI when the federal government announced that they were going to be providing EI for workers out there and making sure that people had incomes. I asked our premier, I've written to him twice, I've had a number of conversations with different folks within government, asking him to partner up with our federal government and top up the EI so that families can afford to pay for their rent, pay for their mortgages, feed their children, keep a roof over their head. At a time when we're worried about our health, we're worried about leaving our doors, to have the fear of not being able to pay our bills is just compounding. So I've asked our premier to do that one. Through the Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries, we have asked them to make sure that all of the liquor stores, the government deemed them essential. I understand that. Make sure those workers and the public that go into those areas are safe. Make sure that they have the shields up, and they did. They put 170 of them up, so we're very happy, and it's been a joy to work with the MBLL. We've also asked them to make the rule that it's no cash, that it's credit cards, and it is debit cards only. Cash right now is, can be very dirty. It can be transporting the COVID disease. So we don't want people using cash as much as we can. I've been advocating for the PPEs, for home care, for our highways workers, correction officers, sheriffs. We have social workers going door to door, trying to, with children. We have family visits that need to be done. Those folks need to have the proper equipment to do their jobs. Been advocating strong and hard, both with all the ministers, with our premier, our health minister, our education minister, We know that we have a lot of education folks right now that are sitting at home. They don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and this disease was not caused by them, and yet they are the ones that are worried and are suffering for it. Our children are getting online education out there as much as possible. We know that we've got a lot of education support workers out there that are desperately worried of what's going to happen. I have asked this government to step up and make sure that we keep those people, keep them on the payroll. We are going to need them when this is done. I've asked our justice minister to delay closing the Dauphin jail. Right now, those officers that need to start looking for housing, they need to register their children in schools. They can't through the government's rule, through our health officials' rule, which is a good rule, stay home. But how do you stay home and go look for housing? So I've begged the minister to please reconsider. On April the 1, he did tell me that he was, it's not a hard and fast date in light of what is going on. So I have some hope that that's going to happen. This afternoon, I was on the phone with a government official yesterday and today, our home care workers. They're going door to door. They need to have the equipment that is there, not only for their protection, but for the protection of those that they look after. In a nursing home, in a hospital, the patients are contained. Everyone knows where they are. They know what they're doing. Home care workers don't have the ability to get report on every person that they're going to go and give care to. They are the reporters. So to have those folks going door to door, house to house, apartment to apartment, without the proper protective equipment is dangerous for them, and it's dangerous for the people in their homes. The government has said, we've heard Minister Friesen on the TV many times say, the equipment is here, we have lots in Manitoba. Then by God, get it out there and make sure that people are able to use it. Under no circumstances should it be sitting in a box in a warehouse, or it never should be given to another province to use until every Manitoban is protected here. Those are a few of the things that I've been doing and going down the road. It has been very, very busy. I've been working from home and working nonstop on behalf of our membership, trying to make sure that their needs, the needs and the services that they provide, that Manitobans have the best that they can possibly have through this government. And now I've said to the Premier, I've said to the ministers, I've said to all political parties, it's time to put away our stripes and our colors. We need to all band together. We need to all work together to make sure that we get through this COVID. If we don't stand together and if they don't recognize that Manitobans are important and the services we provide are important, then we're going to have a bigger problem on our hands very soon.
Michelle, let's go back to the Liquor Mart employees.
Yes.
It has been confirmed that there is one presumptive COVID-19 positive case in Garden City branch of Liquor Mart, right? So what has been the protection for the other workers, and what action has been done by the union? You talk about, encouraging people not to pay in cash.
Yes.
What other things did the union do to protect our employees there?
Well, we made sure that, like I say, that the screenings, the plexiglass were put up, and we were trying to make sure that that was put in place to be able to protect both the customer and the workers. We've tried to make sure that they've got the gloves, the masks, whatever is going to be needed while they're at work, that they've got the cleaning supplies. And I have to say, the MBLL has stepped up. And it was interesting for me to know that the worker reported herself that she had to go get tested. MBLL stepped up immediately, closed the liquor store, closed a liquor store that she had also been affiliated with, made sure that all of the workers stayed home and did self-monitoring. They made sure they were protected, and they made sure that any customer that had come in, they went public immediately. There was no secrets kept. They took their responsibility to Manitobans to heart, and they protected everyone that they could. So again, I have to say, management of the Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries Association, they have my undying respect, I'll tell you. They have been amazing through this all. The workers themselves are very diligent on what is going on, and they are scared. Up until now, they've been dealing with robberies, and that's been bad enough, to know the threats and the violence that's been in the liquor stores. But now to have this silent killer that can come through the door at any time is just compounding the problem. So again, I'm asking all of Manitobans, before you take the cash out of the bank machine, think about that for a minute. That cash it might be dirty. Make sure you leave it there. Go use your card, use your credit card, and let's protect each other as best we can.
Yeah. Now, thank you, Michelle. Now, let's talk about healthcare workers. Most of the community know that when you say health workers, those are people that work in hospitals. But I would say that there are, I should say, unsung heroes. These are healthcare workers that do not work, that we don't see in hospitals, because they are called home care workers. And they are the people who visit homes, elderly people, people with disabilities, who provide services, right? So how are they being protected when they do their daily visits, Michelle?
I'm going to be brutally honest, and I'm probably not going to have a few friends when this is done. As far as I'm concerned, our government and the healthcare situation in Manitoba, they have not done right by these people. They have not made sure that every worker has the equipment necessary to do the job to the best and the safest way possible. And again, on the phone yesterday, Good Friday, was on the phone this afternoon, and I know that there are managers out there that are desperately trying to get the equipment out there. Again, Cam Friesen, our Minister of Health, our Premier, has said the equipment is here. There's no shortage. Then by God, get it to the people so they can make sure that they are safe. I'm calling on this government. I'm demanding this government step up. Don't wait till Tuesday. These people are out going door to door, house to house, apartment to apartment today. They are the ones walking in, and they are the ones that are providing the care to our elderly, the most vulnerable, the people that can't. They don't have the ability to leave their home. And if any of these workers get sick, there's not enough of them. They are gold to our province. And this government needs to step up and make sure that they are protected. There's no other words for it. And I call on this government, and I will keep calling on this government. And if I have to, I will go sit in driveways and doorways to try and make sure that this government understands these workers across this province need the equipment to make sure that everyone is safe.
Thank you. And for those of you who are listening right now, and if you are a home care support worker, you can send in your comments or your questions, and we'll try to give those questions, send those questions to Michelle, read those questions. But if you would like to comment as well on your experiences on dealing with COVID-19, you can do so. So earlier you mentioned about PPE, or the personal protective equipment. Can you tell us more about PPE that is being advocated by MGEU to push employers for additional protective measures for their workers, especially for those who are working on highways, right? Go ahead, Michelle.
There is. We've got highways workers right now. The snow quit. Thank you, Lord. I'm very happy for that one. I don't like the snow. But these highway workers now have been redeployed, and the government is using them where they need them the most. We've got highway workers that are out on the borderline between Ontario and Manitoba, Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and they are stopping traffic as they are coming into our province to remind people about the social distancing, making sure that you're self-monitoring, making sure they know what COVID is, and telling them their responsibility on making sure they're safe distancing, the 6 feet apart, making sure that they are washing their hands, using all that they can. Those workers, as well as we have a number of workers right now that are doing flood watch. While COVID is going on, we know that we've got a problem with water coming up to our province very, very soon. It's going to be cresting in the States within days. We know that water is going to be moving up. We've got Altona, Morris, Emerson, all of those places that are going to lead into Winnipeg. Those workers are out right now. They are flood watching. They are manning dikes. They are doing the work and prepping the equipment. They do not have the proper PPEs. Each and every one of those workers right now are very worried and very concerned that when they are done their 14 or 16-hour day today, they are out there 14-hour days, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. They are making sure that we are safe. I think our job is to demand that this government make sure that they are safe. Those, along with our correction officers that are dealing with the inmates in the jails, those folks in the cells, you don't know whether they're coming into the jails, whether they've been exposed to it or not. We need to know that our correction officers as well have the equipment, and I do believe that Justice has stepped up and they've made sure that there is some equipment there for them. We need to make sure that our sheriffs have it, that are transporting. We need to make sure that those that are providing family visits for CFS, those folks need to have the equipment. We've got Main Street Project, where the most vulnerable homeless people go for protection and for safety. We need to make sure that those folks that are providing that care have the equipment. So, and again, the Premier keeps telling us we have all of the equipment. It's all here, folks. Don't get alarmed. Don't worry. Then put it out, Premier. Let the people have it. It's his responsibility. It is his government's responsibility to protect us to the best that we can do it. They keep telling us our responsibility is to stay home, make sure we're not spreading it. And they have all of these essential workers that are going out there providing care, providing services, making sure that we are safe. Our government's responsibility is to make sure that that equipment is in the hands of those people, that they don't have to wait for it. It should have been there yesterday, not waiting for tomorrow.
So shout out to all of our highway workers, all of our correctional workers out there. I'm proud of you guys. We are proud of you. Now,
Absolutely.
you mentioned about MGEU. Most of our members are government employees, right? And they have they are now working. Most of them are working from home. However, there are some cases or a few cases wherein a home is not safe for them, right?
Yes.
It's not home. It's not safe for them.
That's right.
Because of domestic violence and other issues, right? And
Yes.
I know, because I am a member of MGEU, that there is what you call the Employee Assistance Program, or EAP, for MGEU members. Can you tell us about this program and what kinds of problems does EAP deal with?
Well, EAP will deal with mental health issues, emotional issues, and they will give advice and they will help out when, like you say, someone's in domestic violence. And a shout out to our shelters that are out there. We represent shelters like Willow Place. We've got a number of shelters that we represent across the province as well. We know that right now the numbers are down, but at a time in a crisis, history has always shown that domestic violence will increase. So we know that there are people out there. There's men and women all across the province right now that are not in the safest places that they can be. They need to be able to reach out, and please, I want them all to know that because we're told to social distance and stay home, no one means to stay home when it's dangerous. If you need to go, the shelters are equipped, they are prepared, they have everything in place to be able to make sure that you are self-distancing or social distancing. If you do need the shelter that is there, you need to be protected from domestic violence, and it just today as you would any other day. So, and the EAP system is there to make sure that, you're not going to lose pay with it. We lobbied and we fought to make sure that that bill got passed. And I'm very proud to say that, it's been a number of years, but all parties voted in favor of that to make sure that anyone that is suffering from domestic violence, and again, male or female, it doesn't matter what your gender is. Domestic violence is domestic violence. If you need the protection, please reach out, and reach out now.
Thank you. And finally, my last question for you, Michelle, before I let you go. What is your message to all Manitobans and to all MGEU members as we continue to fight for this? I call it the battle of the unknown. Go ahead.
The battle of the unknown, the silent disease, as I like to call it. My first message to everyone that is out there providing a service, and there's many that we don't see. We see the ones that are there that are the store clerks. We're seeing the doctors, the nurses when you walk in the hospital, the healthcare aides. What you're not seeing is the the cooks and the housekeepers, the dietary staff that are looking after and feeding everyone, all of the clerks that are out there. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone that is out there, and just to say a huge, huge thank you. And for the rest of us that are not providing an essential service, please stay home. Only go out when you absolutely have to. This disease is silent. You're not going to see it on your hands. You're not going to be able to smell it if you end up getting in touch with it that through your nostrils. So please, folks, please stay home. Stay safe. Do not become a burden to others that are trying to provide the essential services. And, I want to say, have the best weekend, the best holiday weekend, the best Easter weekend, Passover that you can. Show those that you love, that you care the most by staying away from them, which sounds very strange, but right now it is the best thing that we can do. We're Manitobans. We're strong. We're tough. I believe in us wholeheartedly. I know we are going to get by this, but please listen to the health officials. Listen to what they're telling us to do. Follow what they're telling us to do. And for the young folks out there that are bored, they don't want to be at home anymore, I can't believe they're not on their phones, because that's where you see them any other time. But they all want to be connecting up. Please do it through your social media right now. Do it safely, but make sure that you are not causing any more problems out there. Make sure that you are looking after yourself, your families, and stay safe. I can't say it enough. Noel.
Well, thank you very much. That's your union that works for you. Union works for you. Thank you very much for your time, Michelle, and we hope to, I don't know how long will it take, if it's going to be weeks or months or year, but let's hope for the best. Thank you, and good night, Michelle.
Thank you so very, very, very much. God bless you all, and anytime you want to talk, I'm here. So
Happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter.
Take care. All right, bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you. That was awesome.
All right.
Yeah. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was Michelle Gawronsky, the president of MGEU, who joined us and talked about the advocacy and program of MGEU for its members, and which also benefits all Manitobans. And I would like to shout out to all of our viewers out there, especially to our sponsors. Starting off with Roch Maintenance. Shout out to you guys, Mr. Khan. And shout out to Jeepney Restaurant on Inkster Avenue. And who else? Director Aldous Guzman.
We have Kanjan Machine. Chapalon, of course, Aldous Guzman. And Ana Esteban of Kanjan. And Gami. Yoli, sorry. Goli.
Goli, all right.
All right.
And I would like to shout out to all the Filipino communities out there. I was just chatting with them, and actually they are watching us from the Philippines, because I had a chance to talk to my relatives. We were just chatting, and we were just saying hi and looking after each other virtually, checking each other's areas. And then I would like to shout out to all of my relatives in Indang, Cavite, the Mohicas and the Matals. And would you like to greet your relatives as well in Tuguegarao?
Yes, yeah. Good evening. Thank you for watching Kuya Noel. And of course, kudos to you, Michelle. Thank you so much. And
thank you very much, Michelle. Yeah. And also, shout out to all of our friends in Lalo, Cagayan, the Tordillos family, and to all the North Enders in Winnipeg, Northwest, South, to all the Liquor Mart employees. We will share this to your page if you have a page, and there will be a replay of this interview with Michelle, and you can share it with your friends. And those are good information that Michelle provided to us. So on behalf of Aldous Guzman and Michelle, who is our guest tonight, thank you very much. Maraming salamat po, and we will see you again next week for another episode of the Kuya Noel and Tito Aldous
Show.
Thanks,
Michelle.
Bye, Winnipeg.
Thank you so much. God bless everyone. God bless.
Yeah, stay safe.
God bless Winnipeg. God bless Canada. Happy Easter, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.